Let me hit that. Okay, great. Thank you everyone for being here. Welcome to our Wednesday webinar on IEEE Xplore Digital Library. Before I hand things over to Paul, I wanted to show you really quickly how to find IEEE Xplore in the library. And if you go, let me move my screen over here. So you probably know about our Library One search box, which you can see here. Hopefully, still you can see my share. So this is our
Yes, we can.
Great, thank you. This is our UAGC library. We have over 90 different subscription databases in the library, and today we're just doing a deep dive into IEEE Xplore. Now, Library One Search is our search engine in our library. So this searches most of our databases at once, including IEEE. So if you wanted to, for example, you could come here and type in some keywords, for example, artificial intelligence and drone security. I'll use that as an example. And if you hit the search key, and I'm just doing a basic search, but you could do this in the advanced search feature as well. And you'll see things popping up. Again, this is searching Library One Search, most of our databases all at once, but you'll see a link here. A lot of these come up from IEEE. So if I were to click here, it would take me directly to the IEEE database where that article lives. If, let's say, you wanted to go directly to the database, Paul is going to be showing us around in the database today. So at any point, if you want to just start from the database and not from Library One Search, just go to Find Articles and More. And there you'll find our databases A to Z list. So we also have databases by subject. IEEE would be under technology or computer science. And databases by type if you're looking for articles or videos, for example. But I find it easiest to navigate just the databases A to Z list. Of course, I for IEEE, and it's right at the top there. So just a few different ways you can get to this awesome database, which Paul is going to show us about right now. Thank you.
Great. I just need screen sharing ability. It says host
Yeah, let
disabled.
me make sure. Sorry, I should.
It could have been, I don't know if it's that Zoom update that just happened.
Let me.
Yeah, it says on my side host. Let me see.
There, now you might be able to.
All right, you can see it?
Perfect. Yes.
Great.
Thank you.
And I'll send you these slides. That way you can share it with everybody. I just have a few slides to begin with, and then we'll go into the database. So yeah, as was mentioned before, my name's Paul Henriquez. I'm also a librarian. On the call with me is Terry Kitchen. He's your account manager, so he works with you for your renewals and any pricing or quotes on products from the IEEE. I'm here for training and technical support, so you can always reach out to me, and we have our emails on the final slide. I'm not going to go through all of these, but just a few updates I wanted to point out before we go in and do a live search. So for anybody coming to the IEEE for the first time, we are the world's largest technical professional organization. And our mission is to advance technology for humanity. Of course, through your subscription in IEEE Xplore, you're familiar probably with our journals and conference proceedings, our standards as well. But we also have some ebooks and e-learning courses in there, and I'll highlight where those live because you can browse that content for free. And then if there's ever any interest, Terry can always walk you through options on getting access. And we support engineers a number of ways around the world. We're a not-for-profit organization. So we're broken up into sections and chapters around the world as such. We have some affinity groups, and two of our largest are the Women in Engineering group and our Young Professionals group. And from time to time, we do like to recognize our influential members. So we do have award ceremonies and elevation opportunities in the membership. This is a little bit of a review of what you have access to in Xplore. So you have what's called the IEL. It's the online library. I like to call it the all-you-can-eat of IEEE Xplore because it gives you unlimited full-text access to full-text content, journals, and conference proceedings back to around 1988. And there is select content that dates all the way back to the 1800s. in the database that you'll find. And that is comprised of around 200 journals, transactions, and magazines from the IEEE and proceedings from our conferences. And you also have access with this subscription to over 3,000 active and approved IEEE standards and the standards dictionary as well. This is just a list of some of the journals that we launched for 2023 and a listing of what we know so far in terms of both hybrid and open access journals coming. So do keep an eye out for these. All of these you will have access to, of course, with your subscription. And we do some things outside of it, the IEEE Xplore Digital Library. We do have a mini MBA program for technical professionals. We have a leading technical teams program as well, and our communications society has a wireless communication course series. So I've included the emails in case there's ever any interest on any of these. If people are doing professional development outside of their normal research, it may be of interest. And just a few things before I go live and explore about ebooks and e-learning. We do have content from a number of publishers in IEEE Xplore, and these are an easy add-on to any existing IEL subscription that you have. It is peer-reviewed content and DRM-free as well. So again, when I go live and explore in a second, I'll show you where you can browse the content. And if there's ever any interest, again, Terry can help you out and walk you through options there. And we also have the e-learning library. These are hundreds of online courses that are integrated into Xplore on a number of different technologies, and they are peer-reviewed, and you can earn credit for taking them. So again, this is content that is browsable for free. And if there's ever any interest, again, Terry can walk you through your options. And one last thing for anybody that might be authoring papers, this is a great website to bookmark, the IEEE Author Center, because there's a lot of free resources on here to help you through your publication journey. We have a publication recommender in there that can kind of help you navigate where you might think about publishing your research with IEEE. We've got things like the template selector, LaTeX analyzer, reference preparation assistant. We even have a link to our IEEE style manual as well that's in there. You can download it. So do check that out. If you're publishing a lot, it might be worth bookmarking that site. This is the URL for Xplore. Of course, we just saw how to go through your library website, but you can also go to the URL as well, and it will authenticate as long as you're on your network. And let me just stop sharing, and I'll reshare my other screen here. And there we go. So now we are in Xplore, and I'm in a demonstrator account that basically mirrors what you have access to. But as normal, you would look for access provided by University of Arizona Global Campus at the top. If you need a review of what you have access to under the My Settings menu, there's a What Can I Access link right here. So this gives you a rundown with live links to all the collections that you have access to in your Xplore subscription. And by clicking that IEEE Xplore logo at the top left, you'll be brought back to the homepage very easily. And right next to that My Settings menu, you have a Browse feature. There's a Browse Popular link, so you can see content that's trending in Xplore. These are searches that were run across all users. You can view it in a graphic or list form, and you can see content that's trending across all different content groups like journals, conferences, and standards in that Browse Popular. And I mentioned you can browse the ebook collections that are in Xplore here. You can browse them by publisher. So these are all the different publishers that are in here. Manning is a new collection, kind of similar as well to the PACT collection, which is pretty new. PACT is kind of like those O'Reilly technical manual books. So you can go in and browse and get an overview of what these are in there. So, do check that out if you have time, as well as the courses. Because again, if you're doing professional development, this is free content you can go and see here. So, and there's actually one that I find very valuable on IEEE standards. You can find courses in there. And you can view each of the categories either by scrolling down or looking in here, for instance, and then see the different content that's in there. And again, any of this additional content, Terry is more than happy to give you more information and walk you through options there. I'm going to go back to the home page and I'm going to talk about the search bar here. So this is a metadata only search bar. To do full text searching, I'll talk about the advanced search right below it in a second. But you can go and search if you have a standards number you're looking for, or maybe you have an author name. Again, this will change the fields here, but I'm going to do a search like technology /5 management. And what I'm searching here is technology within 5 words of management, or management within 5 words of technology. I can also keep those words in order of precedence by putting an O near here. That's order near, but I'm just going to leave it at near and run a search. And it's a lot of results there, 107,000. So in quotes, I'm going to put big data as a term and narrow this down a bit for a little over 4,000 results. So you see how easy it is to kind of start parsing down and getting a little bit more focus in your search and explore. And say you wanted to remove big data, you could just click the X by it and go back to the original search. So Explore is very flexible in that manner. And then I could even narrow down further by maybe just conference and journal content. And even here in this box, I can show all of the results. Subscribe content, that's pretty much everything except the ebooks and e-learning that you would have. You can also limit to open access articles as well. And that content is in your subscription because you have this little green open padlock here. And it says there, included in your digital subscription. If you see a red closed padlock, it means it's outside of your subscription. So that's how you can easily tell if you have access to it. And with your subscription, maybe I'm interested in these first 2 articles. I can download up to 10 PDFs of articles at a time. I can change the items you see on a page here. I can even export these into a spreadsheet or get the citation for these search results as well. There's also a My Research projects here. And there's this feature we have in Xplore personal account. And this is based either on your work email or personal email. You can sign up for whatever you want. And I'm going to log in because I'm going to do some things as we go along in the search. Of course. I got it wrong. There we go. And you'll see my name here at the top. And this is kind of nice because this is a layer on top of that institutional access you have, because this is now on an individual level. But you can set preferences for how you like to search Explore under that My Settings menu here. And I could set a default for search, how I want my results, how many results I want on a search page. I can turn my search history recording on and off. I can even set a default for the way I want my citations downloaded and the format. So very, very nice to have that feature. And then likewise, if I select these first 2 articles in my search page here, I can export these into a research project. Maybe I can do cloud computing, for instance, and type a few notes in here. You can have up to 15 projects with 1,000 documents in them each. So if you're doing, say, a literature review, this is kind of handy because you can keep certain articles together under a specific topic and go refer back to them. And I can even, maybe if I'm interested in this search, set a search result for this, name it, and you can set up to 15 search results with your personal account. And there's also the search history. So search history is nice here because you can go in here and maybe I want to just select, power grids and, semiconductor, for instance. I was doing some searching there. I can combine lines of searches with and or not, or I can just go back in my search history and click on any of these searches and rerun it there. So that's great.
Quick question for you,
Yeah.
Paul. Does it automatically save your search history, or do you have to be logged in order to do that?
You have to be logged into your
Okay.
personal account up here and make
Gotcha.
sure when you first sign in, there's preferences here. it will default to off.
Okay,
So turn it on if you want that on.
that's
And you
great.
can
I need
turn it
to
off at
change
any
that.
point. Yeah.
Thank you. That's awesome. I love saving my search history.
Yeah, and another thing that a lot of libraries do, like a lot of academic libraries, I know they will set up a personal account with the reference desk email. And you could put anybody's name on it, for instance. But for people that are working the reference desk, they can share that folder. We can share that login with everybody because it is a free feature. This is not tied in any way to your access here, your full text access. But this is just it's kind of a personalized portal for Xplore, for instance.
Gotcha. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to go and rerun the search here that I was doing. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so going back to this search result, there's facets on the left here. So you can go and narrow down maybe by author or affiliation, like what school maybe, or company or university or government agency authored the paper. Supplemental items is nice because you have the option to limit this search by content that has media, data sets, or code attached to it. And if you're searching for standards, perhaps I could just go and maybe search the active standards that came up in this search. And there's also this standards dictionary that appears on your search page here on the right. That's a good place to look for other terms to maybe filter down your search there. So, and then you can sort this. You can sort this search page by date, alphabetically, even the articles that are most cited by paper or patent citations. And let's see. Okay, I was just seeing if there's any other questions in chat before I go forward. So I'm going to go and click on this first conference article, just as an example of how to work with an article. You can click the PDF and get the PDF of the article or the citation right at the top. If you use Zotero or EndNote, RAS is a compatible export function for that, so keep that in mind. And then especially if you're doing a literature review, I like them more like this box here. You can expand it. These are articles that are tangential to what you're reading, so you might want to look through that list as well. And then on the left here, much like the search page, you have the facets of the article. I can see the authors, get the references, and download them in a list if I need. There's keywords. Images will appear as well if there are any, and also the article metrics. So this is a fairly new article. Not a lot of people have read it so far, but citation statistics, if they're available, will appear there at the bottom. So that's a little bit of a work through of an article. And I'm going to go over to advanced search now. See if there was there's an article. Excuse me, there's a question here. Could we create an account directly on IEEE Xplore for free with access to search the database and findings? Well, you have access to full text content in Xplore via the university. The personal account, anybody can create it, even if they don't have full text access. But you would have to manually create that and manage that login because it would be assigned to you. It's not for everybody. So, but that's how that works. So anybody can sign up for that. So back to the advanced search. I'm going to do a search like I did previously. I'm going to do technology and management this time, and maybe Oracle. And I'm going to put full text on this search here. Let's see the chat box. Now where am I at? Sorry, somebody hit chat and it covered up my covered up my drop down list there for a second. Let me move the text only, and then I'm going to put Oracle under affiliations there. So author affiliation, that can be a company, a university, a location, a government ministry or agency. whatever you think an article could be affiliated with. But you could also maybe even do like National Science Foundation, and then I'm going to do or NSF, and I'm going to put that under funding agency. So if you're looking for funding opportunities, maybe either from a trust or a government agency or ministry, you can use this advanced search very easily to find that. If you see that an article has been funded by a particular entity, it'll appear in that abstract section. And there's a date range down here in your search button. There is also a link to search operators here, which gives you a rundown of how Xplore works and the operators, how to use it. Pretty similar to a lot of other academic and scientific databases. And lastly, there's a command search here. So the one thing about advanced search, you can't use that near operator, but with command you can, and you can also do the full text search like I did before. Technology near /5, and then I'm going to do management. And so basically the search we did earlier, except on a full text level. So command search does give you the ability to kind of do a free form search, and you will see here there is a maximum of 25 search terms per search clause. That does not include the operators, however. So that's a little bit about the search. Finally, under help, there's resources and help. So if you're ever using Xplore, there are videos and training here. There's a link to video tutorials that are 1 to 3 minutes long on all of the things I talked about today. They are linked out via YouTube. There's also user guides. Good one to download is this Getting Started and Saving Searches PDF right here. You know, that way you can kind of get started with searching the database, as it were. And there's also a link for administrators and librarians at the top. So there's a link to my team, usage reporting, tips to promote and resources to promote your subscription, other useful links, some information on account management, and etc. And there's even a searching section here. The search examples is good, much like the slides I'll be sharing. There are screen captures of sample searches here, kind of showing you how to employ Xplore. So what I'm going to do now is just share my last slide while I take questions, because it is Terry and my contact info in the end. And again, I will share these slides with everybody. There we go. And just so you know, training at IEEE.org goes to the entire client services team. So in case I'm not in the office, somebody will respond pretty quickly. But if you ever need to get at us, there is our contact. So that's about all I have. I figured I'd open it up for questions. Thank you. And you can either enter them in chat or just unmute and ask on the line.
We had a lot of just great feedback in the chat. You know, I think we all really love the design. I know I was saying, for me, when I'm selecting articles for a course, I really appreciate when the HTML is available, because right away it makes it a lot more accessible. And, you know, I can't remember a time where we ever had to have anything remediated from IEEE Xplore for accessibility. So I appreciate just the platform itself, that it's so accessible.
Yeah, and people often say, oh, well, you know, I use Google Scholar and this and that. And I get that, you know, a lot of people will go in, and that, of course, counts toward your usage. Obviously, it's not going to be, you know, but as a dear retired colleague of mine many years ago said, you know, would you use the same search engine to do your technical research as you do to order a pizza?
Right.
So there are a lot of features, as you saw on Xplore, that kind of help you uncover a bit more about the information.
Yeah.
So, and you know, it is worth your while to go in there and leverage things like that personal account. That way you don't always have to go back in the database. You'll just be alerted when there's new content or things. You know, you can even set bookmarks for favorite journals or conference proceedings. You know, you can set author alerts, citation alerts if somebody cites an article. We can do a lot with that personal account.
That's
So
great.
yeah, and if there's ever any questions about it, just feel free to drop me a line, and I can walk you through it.
I have one quick question that just occurred to me. I've that I think might help the library set this up a little better for students, because we use APA citation here.
Yeah.
And I
Sure.
noticed that the Cite This button, it doesn't provide an APA citation. Is that a setting we can change on our end of things?
No, we don't have
Okay.
that option. I can put that in actually. Somebody may have already asked for that. We keep a customer
Okay.
feedback
Oh,
form,
great.
so I'll put that in there. And if anybody else has any other, feedback or things they'd like to see, let me know, because we do actively track that.
Yeah.
Probably my best advice would be to use the plain text, or what do you call it? It's the one on the far right now. I can't even
Yeah.
remember.
Oh, we do have RefWorks, so that makes it
Yeah.
easy to, yeah,
Mhm.
save it as a RefWorks citation and then export from there in
Yeah,
APA.
there's where is it here? Gonna do a basic search. What do they call that on the end? Uh excuse me. Let me see here. Export, reference, citation, plain text. That's what I
Oh,
was
yeah,
thinking.
the plain
Yeah.
text. Gotcha.
You can do plain text, and then you just have to tweak it for APA, because there's not even one for IEEE as well.
Okay.
But IEEE is pretty similar to the Chicago manual.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, but we do have that in the Author Center. You can download that, or you can just Google search it, IEEE style manual, and it'll bring up the link for the author
Good to know.
page,
Good
and you
to
can
know.
get it that. Yeah.
And Tahara, thank you for your question. I think that's a great question. So I assume that, do you mean videos available in IEEE Explore if they're fully
Um,
scripted?
Maybe the research. It was the ones, I think, on the research, resources and help page. Those are YouTube linked, so you could just
Okay,
you can right click on the YouTube and get the HTML to embed it. I mean, you could probably just put a note on it. This is content from provided by IEEE. I would just probably do something like that. I don't think you have to do a full citation, but
great.
yes, you can use that. You can put them on your library page. That's free content that's meant to be there for people that are using the platform. So
Fantastic.
yeah,
Thank you.
and
Great
it should
question.
should be fairly easy, since it's on YouTube and not on anything off of our site. So.
Awesome. Well, thank
Yeah.
you again. Any last
Mhm.
questions before we wrap up? Feel free to jump off the mic if you need to, or drop it in the chat. Okay. Well,
All
thank you
right.
so much, Paul, for
No
being here
problem.
and sharing with us. Thank you, Terry, as
Yeah.
well, for joining
Mhm.
us
Very
today.
welcome.
Sure.
And
Thank
thank
you.
you, faculty, for coming and supporting our library collection and learning more about it. Thank you
Yep.
all.
Yep. Have a great day ahead, everybody.
Yeah,
So, all
thank you.
right. Take care. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.